All right, so I want to give a quick example of how you can use NotebookLM to basically create flashcards, create slide decks, and basically a quiz. You can do a lot with this in supplementing your learning. So here we're working with Laura's NotebookLM. Of course, if you've never made a notebook before, you'll want to start there. So there are quick tutorial videos you can find on YouTube and whatnot. But what I want to do is show once you've got a notebook set up, what do you do? And if you're tutoring with me, of course, I'm going to go on and set one up for you, so you don't even have to worry about anything up to this point. Now, one thing we're going to do is we're going to, I want to show how we get our sources over here. So what we're looking at right now is a list of sources from which this AI or LLM is going to pull from this to create our notebook, which you could say this whole thing is part of, but we're going to spend a lot of time, especially here in the chat and over here in the studio. Now, in the chat, I can do all sorts of things, but before we get to that, I need to figure out how to pull sources. Now, I can search the web for sources if I want. I can look in my drive if I have some Japanese past tutoring files or things like that. Maybe chances are, if you're working with me again, I'm going to probably link your journal, your Google Doc notes to this as well. So you won't have to worry about that. But maybe there are other things. Maybe you have a list of, JLPT and 3 words specifically that you want to link to this, and you can find that in your drive because you uploaded a PDF to it, whatever it might be. Or maybe you want to search the whole web for something. That's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a specific YouTube video link. All right, so here we are. This is actually a list that one of my students, Laura, is indeed using. And I think this is a great one. So she's using this to study JLPT and 5 and 4, vocabulary, and so forth right now in context through short stories. Great idea. So let's see. I've already done one for number 1, if you didn't see that. So I've already done this for number 1. I'm going to create some flashcards here. This is just one of the many things we can do. Let's do number 2. Let's do this from scratch. So I'm going to copy this link address here. I could just go to it and copy it from there. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add source. And again, I can do all sorts of things in here, but I'm just going to click on YouTube and I'm going to put in this one link. Now you can't put in multiple YouTube URLs at once. So you'd have to come in and do them one at a time. Even though it says list here, I don't think it's going to do anything. I'm going to delete it, but I don't think that having the list part of the URL matters. You could probably put it in there without any trouble. I'm just going to do that because I like it to be clean and I'm kind of perfectionistic like that. I'm going to hit insert, and now it is one of my sources. Now I want to make flashcards and whatnot based solely on this source. Actually, what I want to do first is ask some questions. So maybe what I need to do is I either need to unclick all these others so that I'm only highlighting this one, have a check mark only next to the one I want to talk about. If I want to talk about more than one, I could do that too. The other thing I can do is if they're all highlighted as is the default, I can just unclick them and choose just that one. That's great. Okay, so now what can I do? Well, what's nice is it can give you some options, but none of these are quite what I want to ask about. I want to first ask, what is the nature of the story in this video? What topic does it cover? Maybe I don't want to do this one. Maybe if it's about Japanese at work, maybe I don't want to really learn work terms right now. Maybe I'm more interested in travel. This one's about a day at school. So let's say that's something I'm interested in. This sounds great. It'll even tell me exactly what the story is talking about. How nice. It'll even tell me where. If I highlight over these kind of citation numbers, then it shows the part of the YouTube transcript that it got that from, what it's taking this from. This is fantastic. So even here, I can even look and read this right now if I feel comfortable with kanji, or I can copy and paste something from that. I don't need to do that. Right now, I'm going to keep things simple. Now that I know that this is something I want to do, that I want to study, I want to know all the vocab from these terms after watching the video, watch the video again, and recognize the terms next time. Well, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go in here. Now, if you work with me, I'm going to give you a specific vocabulary prompt here. It's going to look like this. Otherwise, you're welcome to just take this and I'll put this in the description. If you're seeing this on YouTube, I'll put this in the YouTube description underneath the video as well. Just a prompt, a very simple prompt. It's going to ask it to make the flashcards just the right way. Let's see. Let's make more cards. Why not? I love studying vocabulary. I don't want them to be too hard or too easy. Let's just keep them medium for now. Copy and paste that prompt in here, and let's start it. It should be that easy. Now let's see how good it comes out. The thing with AI and LLMs is that you get variable results. So one day I may get one kind of result, and the next day I may get the same, or I may get a slightly different look to the result. And when that happens, sometimes I just retry. I just do it again. I delete the last thing it made and I retry it because, you know, it's like people. We don't always put out the same stuff every day. And yes, AI is becoming more and more like people. So we're going to have to be patient with it. We'll want to take our time in getting it right. I might pause here for a second while this is loading. All right, it's done. That took less than, I'd say, 30 seconds, less than a minute for sure. And now I've got Japanese flashcards. I like to actually name it. I'm going to check it out first, maybe. No, I'm going to go on and name it. Normally, I would check them out, make sure they're what I want, but let me go on and rename it now so that I don't forget to do that later. And I'm just going to call it the same thing that I did down here, but call this number 2. So Japanese short story number 2 flashcards. I'm going to label it flashcards so I don't forget that's what these are. Maybe I don't recognize the icon. Clicking on it. Look at that. That's exactly what I want. I'm not testing myself on kanji right now. I could do that, but this isn't my kanji deck. This is my vocab deck. So I'll have more prompts for other purposes maybe as we go along. But right now, gakko. Okay, fantastic. And I can check that indeed it tells me school. Ooh, I can even explain if I need to. That's not going to be quite as useful on these vocabulary cards. But let's say I was testing myself on grammar. That could be very useful. This tells me everything I could possibly ever want to know about school, and even how to say some of these things. So again, if I can read kanji, that'll help. But it's, again, notice it's not making stuff up. It's basing it on what is in the text or in the source. It's not going to make stuff up. One of the biggest strengths about using NotebookLM as opposed to ChatGPT or the like. ChatGPT is great too for other purposes, but I don't want it to start making up facts. I want it to take it straight from the experts who made this video, and I want to know that it's telling me only what is in the videos, in that information. So that's helpful. That is helpful, but mostly I just want to test myself. And since my flashcard prompt included a cloze deletion sentence, you may wish to rewrite it so that the English is actually on the back side. It'll test me on what word among those that I learned that I want to use in here. I recommend keeping the English on front because we're not testing ourselves on all the vocabulary in here or whether or not I can read all those kanji or whatnot. Right now, mostly testing myself on, do I know how to say the word that's missing here? And if I can read just enough kanji to know this says, watashi wa getsuyobi kara kinyobi made school. I need the word for school. Ikimasu. I will go to school. Then I will know that gakko is the correct word. And again, maybe I'll hit explain just to be sure. Maybe I don't understand the answer. Back in the day, Duolingo, you would go to the community if you didn't understand something, and then they shut down those comments. They didn't allow the community. You couldn't get explanations for things in the free version. I think this is leagues ahead of what Duolingo actually does for us in terms of our self-study, and partly because of the customization. So it says this flashcard phrase, I go to school from Monday to Friday, establishes the fundamental rhythm. That's very nice. Maybe I want it to be, after getting dressed and bread, it's going to tell me more about the school day. That's nice. That's nice. Maybe it doesn't quite tell me why gakko fits there, but again, that would be a better thing perhaps for grammar or the like. All right, so that's kind of a quick note there. There are other things you should play around with. You could create a mind map based on what was in there. I'm not going to do it right now because this is one that my student might actually use, but she could make a mind map. She could use quiz. Quiz is very helpful if I wanted to quiz me on vocab, or maybe I wanted to quiz me on what do Japanese people do during their school day. I can do all sorts of stuff, and I can even get an audio interview and a video interview. A note is that you will not be able to create these as yet. Maybe that'll be this will not be true anymore soon, but these will be in the language of the notebook that I'm using. You can see that that's English right now. Everything's in English otherwise. If I want it to be in Japanese, I have to go and change my settings, and then I get a very, very native level fluent Japanese output for audio and video as well. So that's a quick look at NotebookLM. I hope you enjoy using it for your studies. Get started as soon as you can learning how to use it.